Welcome to Go Home Heat, a real wrestling podcast.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Impact. Jared did not get to see it, so we're going to go through it pretty quickly. Jump in here if there's something you want to say.
Just about wrestling or like anything in general?
You can go free, man. Whatever you want to talk about, we can do it.
Stevie Nicks is one of the best performers ever.
Okay. I think we are going to talk about that, though.
Yeah,
on
later,
a different
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, but I just want to get it out there.
Right. Oh, I get it, dude. Ray is here as well. Go Home Heat Kid Ray.
Was that
New
a
Japan
hello?
Jared. And we
I was
open up.
falling into the abyss,
There.
but backwards. So I was coming out of
Like
the
a nesty plunge.
Yes. What is... Anyways.
A
Impact
nesty
Wrestling.
plunge. You've never seen that.
No.
Not
There
either
were
of us
commercials in maybe the 70s and 80s.
That explains...
They,
I was negative 20 years old.
They would fall over backwards into the pool, but be happy about it because they were drinking Nestea and it was refreshing.
Oh.
So it was a Nestea plunge. Okay. Katie Forbes, RVD versus Sammy. Sammy winds up winning, but then Katie gets him to chase her, and RVD jumps him, and then you wind up with Katie and RVD with a vicious beatdown on Sammy. She rams her butt into his face a couple of times. She does, I think, kick a chair into his head as well. Or maybe she puts her butt into the chair, into his head. Then RVD does the Rolling Thunder thing into the chair.
Van Daminator.
Yeah, all that good stuff. Well, not a Van Daminator, I don't think he does. I don't think they do that.
Yeah, that's where he kicks the chair.
He throws the chair and they catch it and then he kicks it. That's a Van Daminator.
Yes.
Or the coast-to-coast version of that when he puts it up into... He didn't do those two. He did more like... I don't think he can go coast-to-coast anymore. He's still in really good shape, but that's...
I feel like he did months ago at some point when he started coming back
I think
to
he
Impact.
went coast to almost coast.
Yeah, it wasn't. Listen, man, he's still in pretty good shape.
yeah, he's
All
great.
things considered, but everyone slows down a bit eventually.
Yeah.
I do have a question. Was there smooching?
I may have blocked it out. A lot of twerking.
A lot of twerking. Yeah, I figured with the amount of butt-based attacks that there would be some amount of twerking.
She was actually, I think she was holding a chair while twerking, while he was doing a Rolling Thunder drop kick.
What a visual.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah,
That's kind of every RVD Katie Forbes segment.
Correct. Now, so we're not done with this program. And Sammy said online this week that he's losing weight. He's down 10 pounds. He's ready for his singlet and single run. So I'm happy about that. I want Sammy to... Whatever Sammy thinks he needs to do to be in good enough shape to be a singles competitor, I'm all for. Because I want him to...
I hope it doesn't
This
wrestle in
company-
singlet, though. I like his tactical gear.
This wrestling company is better when Sammy is formidable.
Yes,
You know?
agree.
Right. Falaba does an arm wrestling match with Hernandez and Scum. I think they, to some degree, just
Clobber him.
distracted him. And he loses the arm wrestling match and has to give Hernandez the money.
Damn.
Tremendous.
Is Hernandez still rocking the...
Yes, Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
We wind up in the Wrestle House, which is a big match tonight of Wrestle House. It decides whether or not everybody gets to go home. And we talk about the non-love triangle between Bravo, Taya, and Rosemary, but could be a love triangle at some point. Johnny Swinger will not get out of the bathroom, and everybody's mad because they can't get into it. The entire house is waiting to try to get in. Johnny won't come out because by losing to Crazy Steve last week, Crazy Steve got to dress Johnny, and Crazy Steve dressed up Johnny like Crazy Steve.
Pretty great.
It was great, and he came out, and that was great. Okay, and so then we wound up with a Reno Scum versus Rhino in a handicap match, which was surprisingly better than I thought it would be. Heath has snuck into the arena as a cameraman, and he helps Rhino go over.
Yes.
And Scott Gilmore promptly kicks him out.
That's fair.
Well, actually, he fled away from them before the security could kick him out. But Heath is going to be... I like this. I like the little Rhino Heath thing. You know, it's cool. It's a different way of going about it because you already have 2 or 3 guys complaining about their last stop and angry about that. So
now Heath's just trying to get his foot in the door.
right, which is fine. Yeah, I'm cool with it. I like Heath anyway. Now Moose and EC3 promo comes up. Moose kind of loses it. EC3 is going to destroy the belt if Moose can't find him, and so he starts to go through the building attempting to locate him.
Attempt. Keyword, attempt.
Yes. The Good Brothers are telling stories of New Japan and their good buddy Alan.
Yes.
Which is good. Good. Okay, now we're back to the Wrestle House kitchen. Swinger is still crazy. Steve. The Deaners are still trying to find out. They've been trying to be detectives and find out who stole their beers for quite some time. This turns into Larry and them getting into a brawl, and it is a inside the house brawl. It goes all over the house. It is comedic, and it is perfectly done by the Deaners and by
Triple
Larry
XL.
and
AC Romero.
AC Romero and Cody. Cody is the skinny one, right?
Yeah, Cody and Cousin Jake.
Cousin Jake's the big one.
Yes.
Cody and AC body slams Cody onto the couch, to which Cody replies, "It's a couch, dude." And then they notice the ping pong table, and that turns into a match until Larry interrupts the ping pong match, and that allows foreign objects from the ping pong table to be used on Diener. Then, of course, Jake and Larry wrestle around to, there's a spot in there where Larry runs out of gas, and Jake runs way across the house to get a running start to kick him, and AC walks up and is like, "Larry, he's on his way over here. Don't you think you should maybe move?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm too blown up to move. I'm just going to have to take this spot." And that's when he goes, "Would you like some help?" And he's like, "That'd be great, AC." And then AC pulls him right at the last minute, and so the old boy hits the stage running instead of, oh dude, it was so good.
Wrestle House is fun, man.
It was. This whole thing was really fun, and anyway, it was just really fun. And then the finish is when they wind up in the Diener's, no, AC's bedroom, I think, and they find a beer bottle under the bed, which means they actually stole it. Susie walks in and notices that they're fighting, which is bad. And they had promised a truce. TV goes weird. Door gets closed with all of them in it. Dreamer walks up. Door gets opened. Susie comes out. Dreamer says, "Do you know what happened to the guys? I'm trying to ref this match. I can't find them." She says, "They're in there." And he opens the door and sees something and says, "The winner, Susie." And he lifts her hands up, and her hand is bloody.
Oh, God.
And he runs away. So that's the finish
That's
of
great,
this.
though.
Yes. Okay. Ace and Madman Fulton and the Rascals. The Rascals go over. And they're pretty good. And then the Motor City Machine Guns go out, so we're probably getting a Rascals Machine Guns match.
I'm
Which
cool
is,
with that.
oh dude, that's going to be awesome. Raja is ready for TGP. That's a little promo thing. And then we go back to the Wrestle House because we have to figure out what's going to happen with Rosemary and Taya. Bravo is the special guest referee. So Bravo winds up having to decide his own fate here as the pinfall. Does he take the woman that he loves and has yet to profess his love to her? Does he go with the woman who is his boss? And how does this affect getting to leave? Because we all kind of believe that if Taya wins, they have to stay. So that is not what happens. Bravo winds up having to count the 3 count on Rosemary. And then he takes a bite out of the poison apple, gets on a knee, and gives her a ring. I don't remember if it was a proposal or if "will you date me" or exactly how it went, but it had the feeling of a wedding proposal. The wedding ring, though, was a dead rose, not a diamond ring.
Yes.
Which was perfect because she's a demon.
Rosemary has a fantastic
Right.
aesthetic.
And so then after all of this, Taya seems, and basically Bravo explains that he can date her and still have Taya as his boss, which is what we had hoped for anyway. And at that point, what's her name? The real happy girl. Kylie Ray wants to know if we can all go home yet. To which, but they all get in the ring, put their hands on top of each other, and they disappear. Because the demon and it's all that, right?
Yeah.
Great. Just, wow. Okay. And so then we wind up. Deonna Purrazzo has set up with Kimberly to have a black tie affair in which we will do tribute to her and her championship. First, Jordani Grace interrupts this as they're toasting themselves, and we have dressed up wrestlers, not really black tie, but sort of dressed up wrestlers around the outside of the ring as the other two are dressed up, fancied. Jordani Grace is not dressed up, however, and says, "I'm sorry to interrupt your thing, but I ain't done with you yet." And then Tenille Dashwood shows, and she gives a promo about how she's coming for that belt, and Jordani Grace she's not happy with that idea because Dashwood has been in the company and just doesn't show up for work, is what she was basically saying. And we're going to get something here.
Dude, put it in my veins.
Right, but then, of course, before this gets all figured out, the Wrestle House crew magically appears inside of the ring. And if you don't remember, there is a number one contender in that group.
Amongst them, yes.
Yes. And
Kylie
Ray winds up. They try to do something with her, fisticuffish, and she winds up super kicking, which I believe Willie Mack said the best. What did he call her shoes?
Oh, he said something about like calling them Jesus sandals or something.
Bethlehem.
Like Bethlehems.
Got them them Bethlehem.
XL Bethlehems.
Bethlehem XLs to the grill.
Because she's wearing, oh my God.
She did too. She super kicked her with them sandals right in the mouth. And so then we already knew who the number one contender is, but this women's division now just added another really good performer and a good personality. So you have, it's stacked.
Dude, it's stacked.
I almost think there's too much talent there right now. I mean, when you think of your lead performer being the champion, Deonna Purrazzo, and then you have Kylie Ray, then you have Tenille Dashwood, then you have Jordani Grace. That's a really good rotation you can go into for a while. And Hogan and all those guys are really good too. So this is good stuff. And of course, Taya, who was the most important female in the company for years, is now, or for a year, is now, kind of not in that picture, but she can tell those stories. Rosemary can tell us with Havoc.
Yeah.
This is really amazing. You could do a whole show with this. I mean, I know they don't have time to do a whole show anywhere, but you could absolutely do it with that much talent and be just as good as the men's show would be. Actually, the men's show probably needs them more than they need the men's show in this particular company.
Ways, yeah.
Okay. So then we get our main event of the evening. Eddie Edwards has brought is not even a word, but Eddie Edwards has brought respectability back to this championship, and he is going to get rid of EY. No, we get a very good little match followed with a pile driver, and we have a new world champ in EY, and this looks like a tough road to hoe for the rest of them because I can't imagine EY not being willing to do anything to hold on to this belt.
Yeah.
And then Moose finds EC3's room, which is strangely enough, have you ever watched the detective show where the detective has all the different pictures of who he's trying to find?
Yeah, like he has strings between them. Yes.
All of that is here, but it's more of you ever find the same thing where maybe that is happening, but it's not a detective's office, it's a random stalker's house?
Yeah, yes.
It's more that direction. Moose sees it, he's frustrated, he yanks it off the wall, and behind that it says, "You have been warned."
Love that.
You have been warned, and we cut to credits. We have a new champ. We have EC3 and Moose in this big program, and we're rolling along on Impact. It looks really, really good. right now. I love this show, and it's kind of stinks because it looks like NXT may be moving to Tuesdays.
Dude, I hope not. Or I at least hope Impact like moves to Thursdays or something.
Well, I don't think Impact has to have a ton of people watching it to stay on that channel. Like, I can't imagine, like, if you watch what all is on Access TV, I can't imagine that.
It's not really wrestling.
But I also don't think that tons and tons of people watch those 4 music critics talk about different, like Neil Diamond.
Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar has his own shows.
That's true.
Like, the network is basically built around Sammy Hagar.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
So I would think that if the network is built around Sammy Hagar, who a lot of people think is not the best singer in Van Halen history, that maybe you don't have to have a ton of people watch your show for it to stay on television.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I try to do that as diplomatically as possible because I'm a Sammy Hagar guy. I like Sammy. Although I will say this, if you ever watch, I watch a lot of those. I'm the guy that actually does watch some of those shows. Sammy is not a great interviewer, which is odd that he has a show where he interviews people all the time. But he does get along with most of the people because, as a general rule, he's been running the roads with them over the years. And Sammy is a fun person who's been extremely successful both as a singer and he's got his own tequila, he's got his own cabo, all that. So it's funny, but by the same token, wow.
Access is a weird network.
It is strange. You know what I mean? Or you can put it over there and you can get the Isle of Wight concert series, or you can get, Rush. Everything. Who knows what'll be on there. AEW Dynamite is what is really important, though, because we are heading into All
Out.
Yes.
This one's All Out, yeah.
We got a buy-in, I think at 5:30 today.
That sounds right. That's going to be the Britt Baker.
No, they moved that to the main show.
Did they?
Yeah, Tony Khan put out this morning, I think. He said, while I was sleeping, Tony Khan said, let's go all in. Make this the best pay-per-view it can be and get Britt Baker in some form of a dentistry match with Swole.
Evidently, it's going to be a kind of cinematic match, and I'm looking forward to Big Swole just kind of whooping her around a dentist's office.
I agree.
I will say, that sounds really entertaining.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't know. I figured they would kind of keep it on the pre-show for one reason, like logistically, like if you're showing a cinematic match in the middle of your pay-per-view, the people who are there, and there will be people there,
or watching on TV,
are just, watching the screen.
Right. Which I do think you can do, especially with a crowd that is just happy to be there.
Yes. Oh, dude, this crowd's going to be hot.
I would worry if you're doing it in front of 20,000 people, I would say that might be tricky. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what happens to cinematic matches when we get back to a real world, but I do think there's a place for them, but maybe those matches do move to your weekly shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we'll see. Okay, AEW Dynamite. Best Friends versus Santana or Ortiz. The finish winds up with Santana hits Trent with a foreign object. It's really not a foreign object because obviously there's tables, ladders, chairs, and everything else involved in this match. So I don't know that stick mattered. And then they get the finisher. And what did you think about this match?
Pretty good.
It was pretty good. And we need Santana and Ortiz to start stockpiling some wins because we need them in the upper tier.
Yes, please.
Of this division. Then we do what I believe this company does better than any company in the whole world. The Young Bucks and Jurassic Express versus SCU and the Private Party. And what did you think about this?
I thought this match was also really good.
I thought, yeah.
It ended up not being too much of a mess. I like the story they told. Now Young Bucks have to face Jurassic Express, which I'm excited about for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just a good match.
I thought that Luchasaurus, Cassidy, and Jungle Boy were put over very well in this match.
Yes.
And I feel like that's exactly who needs to be put over very well. I do think, though, that what's Cassidy's partner's name?
Did you say Cassidy?
Cassidy's the last name of one of Private Party.
Oh my God, yeah, it's Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn. Yeah, there we go.
I thought Mark Quinn was the breakout star in this group. In the last few weeks, we've seen Cassidy really get showcased, and I hope that they continue to, like, I hope that swings back the other direction.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I feel like they both can be.
Oh, dude, they're both incredible.
Right.
But initially, I totally thought it was like Mark Quinn was the standout.
Well, he
because
had the tails and the hair, so he pops to the eye.
and his amazing gravity-defying shooting star press.
Right.
It's incredible.
Right.
But Isaiah Cassidy is a fantastic worker
Right.
with a lot of personality.
Absolutely. They're great. I'm a little surprised, and I don't want this to sound like a shoot, but I almost feel like they should be more than they are at this point. But I do feel like they're going, like, eventually I feel like this is their division.
Yes, the path leads to them.
Right, but I don't think it's now.
No.
And because I see Luchasaurus as a single star. I see Jungle Boy as some form of a single star, whether that be TV champ or whatever. And so I don't think they're the tag team future. Santana and Ortiz are a little older. I see them as probably at some point being the ones who hand over Private Party, the division.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And maybe I may have actually overbooked like 3 years from now, but whatever, right? That's
But
just
you
the way
can
I see
see
it,
a
right?
situation like that arising. Absolutely.
And I feel like since for whatever reason we're not going to let Jack Evans be the champion that he deserves.
It's true. Man, I just saw a video of him getting suplexed off the top of a cage to the ground. It was horrid. He almost died.
Seems like that's a bad spot.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen like freaking like 20 spots where he's like almost died.
Yeah.
In a spot, like off
Yeah.
a cage specifically. Like
Boy.
not even counting other ones.
Well, you almost dropped a bad word. It was so close right there.
I'm very tired. Okay.
Dude, I did that on the episode I did earlier today.
Yeah.
I tried to say like 3 words with an F at one time, and I got real close.
Oh, so close.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
alliteration, man, it's so tempting.
Yeah, right.
I try to keep it like PG, like a
Of course.
like kids movie.
Like Randy Orton on
Yes.
his Twitter feeds.
Yes.
And his Twitch.
Yeah. Not that word.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yes.
Rest in peace, WWE Twitch feeds.
I don't know if they can do it. That's his like real legal name, right?
Doesn't matter.
The legal name is actually Randall.
Okay, that's not different from Randy.
No, in there. Okay,
You
but
can't like trademark Randy. That's just a nickname.
quickly though, in the contract, I saw Stephanie McMahon's contract today. Somebody put it out online. In their contracts, where it says basically stage name, then the next comma, legal name, comma,
That's true, but would they do that
legal
for
likenesses.
would they do that for like talent?
Oh, dude, that's the contract that everybody signs. When
That's
you sign a
wild.
contract with WWE, your name ain't your name for the remainder of that contract. It's you get called that. Your name's WWE's, and for that they pay you a bunch of money. You know what I mean? But you sign it. You know now.
Now AEW has the Twitch advantage.
The flip side of that
I
is
think AEW.
the
Twitch
That, like,
advantage.
the flip side of that
Aren't
is
they, like a YouTube thing?
an AEW exists now.
Yes.
So it used to be Vince would do this. Maybe there's no ramifications. Now, you know, what happens at some point lately, what's happened is either WWE buys talent that hasn't gotten to a company like AEW yet, or their talent leaves and gets signed by somebody else. Now, what happens when we're on equal footing all of a sudden? Does that allow for this is not a wrestling thing, does that allow for a union of sorts? Does that allow for talent to begin to get more leeway in all wrestling worlds? Because
I hope so.
they're still kind of contracted with AEW too, and they're allowed to do so much outside of it, and all the indie wrestlers are allowed to supplement their incomes, but
here's
part of
one
that has to do with how much they make,
Here's
right?
one thing. I don't
Yes.
think there is probably a very small amount of people who watch wrestling because they saw a wrestler play a video game.
I mean, yes, but
But
I didn't say there are no. I
No,
said
no.
there are a small amount.
totally right. But it is an additional revenue stream for them, which I do think is good. I mean, dude, Paige gets like bank every month, like $30,000 a month.
Right. But
Yeah,
also,
dude, I just want to have the option to watch Kenny Omega play Apex.
but
Yes.
Dude, that just
That just rules.
I'm not even gonna watch it. I just like having the option,
option.
right there.
Right, absolutely.
Him
Okay.
or AJ and Alan.
I break controllers.
Yeah. AJ's so funny, man.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Chris Jericho versus Joey Janela is next, and it is a squash for Mr. Jericho in a post-match beatdown, which Orange Cassidy tries to interrupt. Sonny Kiss winds up being the eventual saving
I love
guy
that.
on this, and I found that interesting.
I thought that was awesome. I hope they're like pushing him.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
Yes, Ray.
I would say Joey Janela has evolved as a wrestler, but I didn't really get to see him wrestle, so I wouldn't think that'd be like fair.
Yeah.
If you were to say Joey Janela has evolved as a wrestler, you would be lying.
He has been.
Well, he's kind of.
There's a difference between evolving as a wrestler and being in scenarios where you get to do what you already knew how to do.
That's fair.
But he's better. He came in a CZW. You know that you don't have to wrestle to be in CZW, and I'm not going in on CZW, but all you have to do to be in CZW is be crazy, and take that Did anyone watch that stupid spot where Joey Janela jumped off the top of a building?
The one with what is it, Danzig?
Danzig, yeah, not Danzig, no.
Zandig. Danzig is the guy from Misfits, right?
Danzig sings Elvis.
That's what he's known for. No, Zandig, which
and
I think
Mother.
I think Zandig is a play on Danzig. Anyways, we've gotten off track. Joey Janela, he mostly did like deathmatch stuff.
He did deathmatch
like
stuff.
wild stuff.
Right.
And now he's
And
just
not
like
like-
wrestling.
Right.
And
He's not bad.
No.
And I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying I feel
not-
like the first time I saw him wrestle,
He's not bad, but I feel like if we were making a tier list of AEW wrestlers, he would not be around A or B.
My point though was that
You know, he's on the lower tier.
the first time I saw him do this without the bells and whistles, I was like, man, he's a little better than I thought. Now we're a few months in, and okay,
He's all right.
yeah, but again, he's still a little better than I thought. I'm not knocking that. It's just, it's not like I think he's getting up in the morning and going somewhere and rolling around with Kurt Angle to get better.
When you see a deathmatch legend, Luther, but when you see
when you see deathmatch legend Luther, he's standing on the railing. He hadn't wrestled in a long time.
When you see a guy that's usually from CZW or a guy who's known for death matches, you don't really expect them to be good at wrestling. So when they're mildly adequate, you're kind of surprised.
The bar is lowered a little
It's the
bit.
dancing bear theory.
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
No. I'm just.
I made that term up, right?
Yeah.
I think I did.
Did you just
dancing bear? No, a long time ago. The dancing bear theory is, it's not that a bear dances really well.
Is that a bear dance?
I'm amazed that the bear can dance.
Yeah, absolutely,
Right?
absolutely.
And you get bonus points because the bear can dance.
The bear can dance.
It's like if you die as a rock singer.
Yes.
You get bonus points.
Yes.
Because you were so much better, because they assume you were never going to write that stinker. Everything was going to be that great album that you wrote right before you died. Okay. Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb. And this match, Serena Deeb, formerly of the former trainer at the Performance Center with WWE, gives us what I believe is the best wrestling match by two females in this company's history.
Really good.
Really good. It was great. And JR even shot on it. During the match, he said, I might get in trouble here, but we don't always see this level of a performance. And he was right. And then he wound up having to kind of clean it up a couple sentences later. It was amazing, and this girl Deeb needs to wrestle in this company more.
Dude, she needs to train people in this company.
Well, she can do that on screen.
Yes.
She can go out there, and
yes.
you could tell she was. I honestly think she was calling this match. Whenever I saw somebody lean in and say something, it wasn't Thunder. And don't get me wrong, I've seen Thunder Rosa have matches similar to this with Allison Kay over here in NWA, right?
Man.
So I know Thunder can do this. But this girl is really good at pro wrestling. Now I know that she's probably on the other side of it all if she's been around a little while and all that. Same token, wrestlers that can wrestle and stay in shape can do it for a long time, and we need to put her in a ring with these kids that aren't as good as her, and especially with somebody like Penelope Ford who is good.
Yes, and who just needs the refining.
Right.
Yes.
Let her teach her how to tell these stories that are so good in pro wrestling.
Yes.
What we need.
I feel like the girl that wrestled Thunder Rosa, she was the one that was she the one? She was in the training. She helped train Bailey, Sasha.
She was not the main trainer that is credited for that woman's name escapes me, and she's a spectacular. She was a really good worker too. She trained that entire generation. Right, but this girl was partially responsible for what you see now, which is really great pro wrestling in the other company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is a strength of that other company, right? Has been, is their women's wrestling recently. And the only thing this company has really not quite, the strengths in this company are tag team wrestling. The strengths in this company are some of the storytelling. The strengths in this company are the high spots, the handful of really great big men that you're getting in these main events. Women's wrestling hasn't been that yet. But there's no reason why it cannot be, because some of these girls have Big Swole has tremendous potential.
The only reason why I feel like that the women's wrestling is failing, and not that AEW's women's roster isn't doing that great, is because I don't think they have a lot of time to put them in, because they keep hiring new people, and it's a constant thing.
But they're getting matches on Dark.
They are.
Now hold on now too. Let's qualify this. There was a significant period of time in which not all of them were able to work and get to the area, and so all of their careers got put on hold for a couple of months due to COVID.
Yes.
Other than a couple of people who could get there and all that. So that matters too, right? Because you're a year into the company, and 4 months of it nobody was able to work.
Yeah.
So that does matter, right? Of course it matters. Now, also, though, it's a misnomer to think that none of these people ever worked a day before they got there. They were signed for some reason, correct? Yeah. But all that matters.
But my problem...
Moxley versus Mark Sterling in your main event of the evening. The lawyer, everybody loves seeing a lawyer get beat up.
It was an entertaining little match.
It was done well. Moxley is a tremendous storyteller. He does his finish that is outlawed at their next main event. And then the reason why we are here. Wardlow comes out.
Yes.
The beatdown begins.
Yes.
And we see a side of MJF, correct me if I'm wrong, that we haven't quite seen to this level. He takes the jacket off. He takes the shirt off. He goes to the beatdown to where you split the guy wide open. Somebody bleeds at least twice on this show every week.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I expect buckets tonight.
The Rhodes special.
I expect buckets tonight.
Buckets.
But I almost wondered, too, like with the Mox spot, the two spots this week, I'm trying to remember who bled earlier in the night.
Oh, dude, I just don't get why every show needs to bleed.
Orange Cassidy. It wasn't Orange, it was Joey bled, and he rubbed Jericho rubbed Joey's blood onto Orange Cassidy's face because Jericho was wearing orange face, which was a really neat, neat spot.
Yes.
But I almost felt like maybe there was a blood packet involved there.
Yeah, I don't think that one was. Not that I doubt that Joey Janela would absolutely blade himself on just like a random episode for dramatic effect.
Oh no! Again, CZW wrestling.
Again, 100%. But at the same time, it's like probably not.
Not when you know for a fact the end of the match is me rubbing your blood on my shirt.
Yeah, that's the spot. I'm going to get this out and just kind of...
So I have to make sure that you're bleeding and all that, right?
I know that Joey would do that spot. I don't know if literally anyone else around him
would let him.
would just
hey, you don't
feel
have
comfortable. Jericho would feel comfortable, but I don't think if I were Orange Cassidy, I would not feel comfortable with somebody rubbing. I don't feel like I'd
for a spot like that, I would feel. Yeah, I would probably feel a little better,
especially with all this stuff happening.
Okay, but fast forward now, the mock spot, he gets cut. It looks like it's above his hairline. So again, it's a really good spot to glue a couple of packets in and bust them open, and it looks
also
like
CZ Dub guy.
And he rubs that on his face and all that.
Oh yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense that would be. But this is so cut to credits. We have Moxley, MJF set up as this huge thing,
Yes.
right? Right. Yes.
Well, I was just gonna say something about you commenting that he's a CZW guy, and I was gonna say it's different because he was wrestling and he learned how to wrestle in a different company since 2012 or something like that, and he literally wrestled next to one of the best heels in the company, in that other company right now, Seth Rollins.
Who? What?
It was Rome. I thought you were talking about Roman Reigns. Anyways.
Okay.
What are you talking? What do you?
Here's what I'm
confused.
trying to say.
Okay.
Okay.
When you said he's a CCW guy, I was talking about, well, that's different because he was training in a different company for a good.
Is it? Is it different?
Wasn't Mox in CCW?
Is WWE different from CZW?
Yeah, but this is splitting hairs of the finest quality.
But Mox was.
Mox was in CZW. Yes.
Absolutely.
He got his head busted open with like the reciprocator saw. It was
Right.
awful.
Oh, what a great spot.
Oh, we skipped a segment, and I want to talk about it because it wasn't very good. The segment where all the talking heads come out, and then it's just messy for like 7 minutes. It was a mess.
Right. Well, somewhere along the line too, I can't believe I missed this. We had FTR and Omega.
Oh yeah.
And that turned into.
That was a great segment, actually.
Right. It lends itself to we're getting the cleaner. It also, Hangman comes down and we get the you're just a drunk part. They did do the segment backstage where they gave us what is, I believe, a West Side sign, but they were using it as 3 people.
Yeah, like they were doing the four horsemen thing, but they were
Correct.
holding one finger down.
I want to say I've seen Tupac do that. And he's got nothing in common with Tully.
Yeah, they're bald. That's something in common.
Correct.
I'm just saying.
With Tupac,
Tully's balding.
I think with Tupac it was by choice.
Yeah, Tully, the ravages of time.
It ran away.
Yeah.
The hair ran away from the eyes. It happens to us all. But anyway, the FTR, Omega, Page, they run down Page as he's been their friend this whole time. They brought Omega chocolate milk, and he calls it Choc.
Choc. He calls it Choc, baby. That's what the kids are saying these days.
I've never heard that. Chocolate
Choc.
is chocolate. It was like he tried to make it cool.
Who calls it
Which,
chalk?
first of all,
the kids these days.
First of all,
no, if I tell you the kids are eating chalk, that's not usually a good thing.
Okay, to be fair, you said eating chalk. This is drinking chalk.
Which I don't believe
that's not any better.
I don't think anybody's ever had to get chocolate milk over, though.
No.
It's over because it's milk, but it's chocolate.
Yes.
I mean, duh. They made Yoo-Hoos. Why? Because they taste like chocolate milk.
Yes. But they're like, not chocolate milk. They're weird.
They're the Sunny D of chocolate milk.
You're so right in so many important ways. Sunny D is to orange juice as Yoo-Hoos are to chocolate milk.
Okay, but we have...
And as Go-Gurts are to yogurt.
Yes.
But we have all out coming up tonight. We have pay-per-view. We're going to watch all that tonight and put something out about it later.
Tag team match is going to be awesome.
Right. We're excited.
I'm so excited.
Who wins the world title?
Who wins the world title? Mox.
Who wins the tag team championship?
Who I want to win the world title is MJF.
Not me. I want Mox to keep it. FTR.
FTR's going to win.
I think FTR. Mostly because I like FTR more.
Does Page wind up with FTR? Was what happened last night, what happened Wednesday, was that kind of like a distraction to where we're really going?
I don't know, man, and that's what makes it exciting. I don't know where this story is
going. And then Omega gets mad at that, and he finally winds up in the singles division as the cleaner, which is where we wanted this to be in the first place. Right? Good story. They told the story. They built Page up as far as they could. I almost called him Dallas Page.
Not quite DDP. If he comes out just like wrapping his ribs, like for several years in a row, it's gonna be awesome. Callback. But no, they have done such a phenomenal job with Page.
But it's time to move on and let those guys be singles wrestlers.
I think so.
Who wins the Battle Royal? No. You think so? What?
I think so. I think regardless of the outcome, that it'll be even if they win, like they're gonna have to vacate the titles because something's gonna go down. You know what I mean?
right.
I don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm excited. As for the Battle Royal, it's a shot for the title, right?
Mm-hmm.
Might be Lance Archer. No, because I can't see Lance beating Mox or MJF in the first defense.
You know,
Maybe
I don't
Pentagon.
Is there any way Wardlow could be in that match and we don't know about it yet?
Dude, the drama.
Did you see the way Wardlow looked at that title belt before he handed it to MJF?
Hey, dude, I'd love that.
Huh?
I'd love that.
If he wins that earlier, all of a sudden it makes that title match completely different. And if Wardlow comes out, we don't know for sure if he helps MJF. You know what I mean?
He's got to think, can he beat MJF? Almost.
Well, I'm pretty sure he thinks.
Sure.
Right, but still, he may not want to. You know,
There would be layers to that.
You turn it from something that seems pretty simple to an onion, right?
Yes.
Just like that.
That's why wrestling's great.
The women's title match.
Yes.
Who wins?
Probably not Thunder Rosa, honestly.
Sheeta wins. Here's the real question. Do we get something better than what we saw this week?
It's possible. I maybe won't say likely, but it is a possibility.
I would guess that Thunder Rosa has wrestled Deeb multiple times.
It felt very natural.
And I don't think she's wrestled Sheeta multiple times. So it may be harder to get that level of a performance. The real main event of the evening has just been moved to the main show. Britt Baker versus Swole. Who wins?
In a tooth and nail match, which is
Who wins?
very funny. Who wins? Swole.
Swole.
I imagine it's Swole.
Could she make it would be interesting if she could utilize the thing that drills the cavities out to tattoo something on Britt's head. That would be a spot.
That would be a spot and a half. I don't think that's how that works. My knowledge of both dentistry tools and tattoo equipment is not very high, but I think that's not how that works.
Okay, all right. So this is a wrap.
It's a wrap.
All right. Let's get excited. For the Go Home Heat, Kid Ray, for Just Do Japan, Jared.
That's me.
From EKP, Go Home, copyright 2020.